All right, we're back with more LIX math equation editor tips. Now we're going to talk about if I have an integral, if I want to do integrals, if you just type int and you do underscore, you'll see the limits are right next to the integral. So this integral will look like this: 0 to 3 f of x dx. And so if you do the preview, you can see the integral is right next to the integration sign. So what if you want the integration limits on top? So you need to type \int op. Now when you do shift underscore, it goes to the bottom, and shift caret, it goes to the top. Alright, so now you can see the difference in integrals there. Okay, now let's suppose I want to do summation signs. Okay, one thing to keep in mind is if you're writing text, if you put the summation sign in the inline in the text, so you go to Control M to go into math mode, type \sum. If you hit shift underscore, the indices will appear right next to the summation sign. They don't go below and top. This will always happen when you're writing the equation in line with text. If you want them above and below the summation sign, you need to write a centerline equation. So type sum. Now when you hit shift underscore, it'll go below the summation, and shift caret, you'll go to the top, and then you could write your the rest of your equation here using summation sign. Okay. Next, we want to look at what if I want to write limits. Okay, how do I get the limits or min or max? If you just type \lim and then you hit shift underscore, it'll automatically drop you below the word limit, and then you could type in x, and notice I want an arrow. Let's say I put the arrow is just right arrow. You type the word right arrow, it gives you a little arrow, and let's say I go to infinity. Okay, now this will work also for min. Just type min and underscore for 1, less than equal. Okay, and similarly for max. So any of those things will automatically drop you below. Okay. Another way to do this is LIX has these are all, remember, just tech commands that I'm typing into the math mode. So if you find the tech command online, then you can test it out. I believe there's something called overset. Okay, so if you type overset, you could type like X, and then it gives you something on top, so you could type like a right arrow, so you could do things like that. Okay, that's the overset command. Okay, similar to that, there might be a underset. So if you type underset, you could type, for example, I could type min here. Suppose I didn't use this special command min, and I wanted to type the word min in text. This will show you an example of how to mix math with text. If you're in math mode and you want to type regular text, do a \m box. This puts you in text mode, so now you can just type words. Okay, then you can drop underneath it and then do what we did before. Okay, so notice. Okay, so as you can see, this is not as nicely formatted as the other min up here when we used the min command built into tech. But this we used underset and overset. But underset and overset are useful in other situations, so you could use those there. When you're writing proofs, sometimes you want nice squares at the end of them. So just type \square when you're at the end of a proof. If you want a black square, you just type \black square. Okay, this gives you a filled square. Now, what's nice about LIX is if you don't remember the commands and you only remember part of them, it has auto completion. So if you just type the word, for example, black, and you wait a little bit, it'll bring up a little thing that'll drop down all the commands that it knows of that starts with the word black. Similarly, some other command, maybe you remember something here, so big. So here's big cap, big circ, all these things. Everything that starts with the word big will pop up if you don't remember the full command. Now let's enter in suppose you have a function that's piecewise and you want to enter conditions on a function. So if you look at the bottom, it's got a bracket with a double thing like this. So I could use this guy. I could say f of x equals, then I come over here and I hit Control Enter to give me 4 cells. Okay, so in the first cell you may have a condition like f of x equals, let's say 1. Then I go to the next cell, and here now I want to put some condition equals 1. Let's say I want to say the word if, even though we could completely write this in math, let's say by just saying like, if x was less than or equal to 3. Okay, but let's say I wanted to write the word if in front. I could just, I just showed you how to enter text inside math mode. You would just do \mbox, type in the word if. You could put a space in, and now you have that, and you could put 0. And if you want to write the word otherwise, just put an mbox and type otherwise, or just put OW. And when you're writing a long document, you'll often want to label your equations so you can refer back to them in your text. So just once you've entered in an equation, just go and click in the equation cell and go hit the insert label right here. When you insert that, it'll ask you to label the equation, and you could give it a unique name. If you just hit enter, it'll just start labeling it. Let me show you that first. If I just hit enter, it'll give a default name of 1 to this equation through all of them. But if you have a document filled with hundreds of equations, it'll be difficult for you to remember what number it is. So I recommend just giving each equation a quick name that'll allow you to remember it. So then you could, then when you write text, then you'll be like in equation, and then now I want to reference this equation that I've numbered. I'll go back and hit the cross-reference. Cross-reference allows you to cross-reference any figure or equation labeled in your document. So now when we build a document, you can see equation 1 is automatically labeled because I labeled that. So whatever labeled, and if you change the label here, it'll automatically update in your document. You don't need to go back and change it. That ends our second video on specific math tips on LIX.